Week 13 picks. First game, Jets at Vikings. So last week, the Jets benched their starting quarterback, went with the backup. It proved to be a great decision. He basically did play better than the starter Zach Wilson has played all season. So the Jets defense has been solid all season. They usually don't give up more than 17 points. So they're not asking much from the offense, and they got it last week. I was impressed. I was impressed that Mike White quarterbacked them at a high level. So we got to keep that in mind, and that strong defense. This is not the first week that we bet a Vikings game. Each week that I mention the Vikings, I always mention how much we like Dalvin Cook, how much we really like Justin Jefferson. We like Justin Jefferson so much we think he is underrated by the media. We don't think he gets enough attention. He's very explosive. He can score. I mean, he's a yardage guy. He gets so many yards. He can score anytime he has the ball. Basically, he's that explosive. And so we like Justin Jefferson a lot. And also, we always say how we think Kirk Cousins is consistently steady. He's a steady quarterback at a consistent level. And that's important. Consistency is important. And that's the theme of the picks for this week is consistency. That's what we're looking for. At this point in the season, we've seen enough of every team, every player, and we should know who's doing well at this point in the season. So that's the theme of this week. All right, so with that being said, in this game right here, the Jets are on the road. Kirk Cousins and the Vikings are at home with a noontime kickoff. That's very important because those conditions are when Kirk Cousins is his most consistent, a home noontime kickoff. We like the Vikings this week, -3. Next game, Titans at the Eagles. This is a difficult game for me to pick as these are both good teams, two good teams here. Again, we're going to go to our theme of consistency. The Titans are a good team, but they haven't been consistent this season. They've had a few games that left a lot to desire. And when Tannehill, the starting quarterback, was injured and Malik Willis was in, I like Willis, but they could not. They struggled to score. So the Titans are not as consistent as the Eagles, who on the other hand, the Eagles have been a good team in every week this season. Every game they played, including the one game that they lost, I thought they played well. And they made a few mistakes. A few plays could have changed that game. The Eagles could easily be undefeated right now. They're consistent every week. And also at the quarterback position is where they probably are. Where their defense is probably most consistent, but at the quarterback, Jalen Hurts, he's playing at an MVP level. He hasn't had a bad game this season. He has not had a bad game this season. His stats are coming along as far as throwing more touchdowns and stuff as the season progresses, but even at the beginning of the season when he didn't have impressive stats, he still was playing well, making great decisions, tucking the ball and running when he needed to, never putting the Eagles in trouble. He hasn't put them in. Jalen Hurts has not been any reason for anything bad for the Eagles this season. Super impressed, as you can see, with his play this season. So, with all that being said, I think you can tell we're going with the Eagles this week. 5.5 is that's a lot of points for me to give up versus the Titans. Tough, physical, gritty team with the Titans. Hard to stop Derrick Henry. But the Eagles seem like this regular season they're rolling. We like the Eagles -5.5. Final game we're picking this week is the game that I am most excited to watch this week. This week 13, this week of this NFL lineup is probably the best of the whole season. A lot of great matchups this weekend. Really looking forward to it. But like I said, the game I'm looking forward to most, Chiefs at Bengals. Okay. I'm very disappointed that Jamar Chase is not playing as like I mentioned earlier about Justin Jefferson. I think even more about Jamar Chase that he can score anytime he touches the ball. Anytime he has the ball, it's a chance for him to take it all the way. He's a very explosive player, one of my favorites. It's very disappointing he's not playing this weekend, so I guess I shouldn't talk about him so much. I mean, Joe Burrow is great regardless of who's at wide receiver. So, that being said, even though I expect Joe Burrow to play great, when Jamar Chase is a dynamic tool that cannot be substituted. And when you're missing a weapon like that, it makes a big difference. He's a big difference maker. He makes the game easier for a quarterback. Mix that with how we talked about consistency. The Bengals offensive line is probably the most inconsistent unit on that team. And we can't rely on them to protect Joe Burrow. All quarterbacks are great when they have the proper protection and proper time to throw. And so we think that without his top wide receiver, without a great offensive line, we think that Joe Burrow is going to be diminished this weekend. Like I said, we expect him to play great. But will it be enough versus Mahomes to Kelsey is probably the top passer receiver duo in the league right now. I mean, they can't be stopped. It's scary to imagine what that team would be like if they still had Tyreek Hill. It's scary. So we're gonna roll with Chiefs this weekend, -2.5 over the Bengals. Let's recap. Vikings, Eagles, Chiefs. Week 13 picks. Odds by Caesars as usual. We feel good about it. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. And good luck this weekend. Peace.